Okay, turn one. Obviously, with Les's deployment, he gave Russ the first turn, and here we see Russ measuring up, making sure everything's within range of his blood secretors and the buffs of the blood stoker.
Yeah. A 1 for run.
That's always the way. Blood warriors are.
That's the juggers.
Oh, is it the juggers?
A 1 for the run with the blood warriors.
It's just
1 for the run with the skull reapers. 2 for the blood warriors. He has got some terrible rolls on his runs here.
He wants to get these out of the way now, though, because there's not much issue with the run on the first turn for the bloodbound.
No, I think, to be honest, he's just pushing up a little bit, defending his deployment zone, and he's still got those Wrathmongers behind the blood warriors for good solid defense. Playing about with.
He's basically he's on the line, isn't he?
So turn one, Les's movement might be a little bit more going on.
There's a shock. Little reverse turn, moving backwards.
Yeah, adjudicators, isn't it? Just got high beyond the building.
Yeah, from all that corn shooting. Watch out for that corn shooting there, Les.
And the magic as well,
of course, yeah, all that magic. Yeah. This is what we want to see. Pushing forwards.
There we go. All straight onto the middle line there. And Skyborn Slayers coming down as well.
Turn one. This is a ballsy tactic from Les here.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite surprising considering that he's not too sure where the objectives are at the moment.
What? Oh, of course, yeah, they're doing this. It's going to come down turn two. Surely you'd have kept that back. But I guess it's Les, isn't it? He likes to finish early.
Maybe. I mean, the Liberators are in a good position. They're holding his back line. I guess what he's going to try and do is push through the corn and then make it so that Russ is crippled and can't get to the objectives when they are
Speaking from a corn player, the phrase push through the corn just sounds like you've moved closer to me so I don't get shot.
Yeah. It's quite risky.
Godspeed to him.
Yeah.
Godspeed to him. We'll see how this goes. If anything, we're going to have some exciting turn ones.
He has got his Judicators to shoot, but there's only 2 units.
He's moved them back, and they're probably shooting at Juggernauts, which, 5 wounds each, 4 up save. They're not going to care.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we see many models coming off the board from Russ here, on the shooting phase at least. Okay, moving into the combat phase.
Okay. I'm not too sure what's going on with the heroes there, but it didn't seem like the Relictor or the Azerios did much.
A lot of combat gauge flashing about there. Everyone just making sure they know exactly how far away from it is.
Impressive use of the combat gauges there, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if they're just showing off or...
And Les is moving closer. This is... Got it, he's actually got it. He's got in. He's going in.
He's in with the Protectors. He's in with the Decimators.
He's chucked 5 Decimators into those 10 Blood Warriors, as we discussed before. This is
his Lord Celestance just made a jump into the Blood Warriors as well.
Wow, that is some tactics right there, Les. That is brave.
I think if we just stop it here for a second, because I think his 10 Pestors actually failed their charge.
The Dracoths aren't going in, are they?
No.
This is what's going to happen with the Stormcast armies. Because Les dropped down the first turn and he hasn't pushed his Lizards up. Those Paladins and that Celestant are going to really find this fight a struggle.
Yeah.
With the Wrathmongers backing up the Blood Warriors, each of those Blood Warriors are looking at least 3 attacks each. When they die, they're going to be coming back with an extra 3 attacks. I can't see from here, but if those Blood Warriors have got 2 axes, they're re-rolling 1s. If they've got the Bucklers, then every time they make a save, they've got a chance to mortal wound back.
Yeah.
It's going to be an uphill fight, that one down in the corner, in my opinion.
I think it's a genuine shame is the Tempestors didn't get...
They could have swung that. The Tempestors on their charge are really, really nasty against the Blood Warriors with their low armour saves.
Okay, let's see how it goes. He's going with the Decimators first.
That's a judicial use of... combat gauge.
Yeah, there's a lot of combat gauge there. Just essentially the Decimators, if you're not too sure, get the amount of attacks that are in range around each of the Decimators with their axes. So both Les and Russ just checking to see how many attacks.
It's only against the unit they're attacking, though.
Yeah. So a little bit strong. And then it looks like Russ is getting attacks back.
The standard Blood Warrior. Corn Bloodbound amount of dice, handful should be enough.
If you're not too sure where all those attacks have come from, Russ has planted both of his Blood Secretors, and he's got Wrathmongers behind.
You're looking at Blood Warriors rocking out 5 attacks a pop now.
Yeah, and these guys are all going up against those Protectors. They're about to. Oh no! That first handful was against the Decimators who have taken a few wounds there.
Oh, okay, up there. Yeah, there's the Blood Warriors with the 5 attacks each.
Oof.
Here comes the pain, guys.
I think they both got 5 attacks. Both of them were in range of the Secretors. So.
They got the Wrath. I can see the Wrathmongers. Yeah, of course.
And that's a
couple
of attacks, couple of wounds picked off the Lord Celestant there as well.
Good choice with his mortal wound cloak. He's a bit of a threat to the heroes.
Yeah, it didn't look like he did much in the last shooting phase, unfortunately.
It's three pops on the Lord Celestin. It's looking bleak.
Oh, the Blood Warriors have died, and if you're not too
that's
sure,
one decimator down.
They get to attack back. They get to pile in an attack when they do die. So that's why Russ is rolling so many.
And this is where the Wrathmongers have now piled in with their 2-inch range. They're also attacking the Protectors and the Celestin.
Yeah, four wounds already done on the Lord Celestin. He hasn't really done much either.
And that was the last decimator gone, I think.
Oh, it's a Protector down the bottom.
Oh, Protectors, my bad, guys. Sorry.
That's a unit literally bounced.
And just the Celestin left. Oh, we're up with the decimators now.
And I mean, you could kind of see from the deployment that it was going to be a really hard nut to crack.
It surprised me that Les came down turn 1 and then went for the charge. Against the Bloodbounds, their one desire is just to get into combat, really, isn't it, mate?
Yeah.
As soon as possible before they start losing bodies.
Those Blood Warriors were geared up for defence. I mean, you could lose all of them, but whatever touched them was probably going to get
mauled at the very least. At the very least, you're gonna. It's an uphill struggle unless you're rocking something like a 2-up armor save roll on 1s or something. You don't want to go into Blood Warriors.
No, and they as you can clearly see, they've shown exactly what they can do. Lord Celestin is literally limping in combat now. He looks like he survived.
It's going to be really, really tough for Les now, though, because that Lord Celestin's got to be there to give the troops around him the extra hit, and once he's gone, that's...
Well, there's not any troops left to get the hit.
This is true. Yeah, that's it.
So, turn 1, pretty happy with that. Les dropped on the first turn, and as you can see, managed to decimate his own Paladin units by going into my Fawn wall of Blood Warriors, which is what they're good for. I wrote a lot of 1s for runs, but to be honest, it's roughly where I wanted to be anyway, so it didn't really make a huge difference. I can't really say much more about that. The Celestin's on his last wound. The Decimators didn't get to... Protectors didn't get to strike. The Decimators are down to like the last few models. The Fulminators didn't make the charge. Yeah, pretty happy with that. The shooting wasn't as effective as I thought it was going to be. Missed one of the super shots, even rerolling 1s on 2s, so it's 2 1s in a row for that. So that was fortunate. Still not over yet. I mean, he's still got a lot of bodies on the table, some range threat, and obviously the mission is to have people near the objective. So if we're now going to roll off for battle round, if he gets it, the Fulminators can come in, start to do some damage, probably decimate my left flank. The Celestin could potentially retreat to stay alive, use his Hammer Cloak. He's got the Venator's still alive, the Relics are still there, he's still got some Liberators on the table. They're tough to get rid of, and to be honest, like, my guys still die to it because they're 4-up saves. So there's still a lot to play for. But I couldn't really hope for a better turn than that, really. I think dropping your army down into my double banner plant when I had all the Wrathmongers set up within range for my Blood Warriors to be the most effective. And the good thing about Blood Warriors is you kill and they still get to attack you. So, pretty happy with that, and we'll see how it goes. If I get the next turn, then the option I've got is the Slaughter Priest can Mortal Wound off the Celestin, which then frees up my Blood Warriors and Wrathmongers to go into the Fulminators. I've got a unit of Wrathmongers to clear up the Decimators in the middle. And I've also got the Crushers to go and pressure his Judicators with Valkyria, and she can give them the buff Devastation if I roll it. The Whippy dudes are in range to give them the extra charge and run, so that means they're probably more likely. He's got a Griffhound in the way, but that might actually work against him because I can charge it and pile in such a way that I could probably get extra distance on my charge, potentially, depending on what I roll. Skull Reapers go into the middle, and then obviously we'll see where the objectives land, but my army's spread across the middle of the table. I've got scoring units pretty much everywhere. The only place I wouldn't want the objective landing is on the left side, because that's the potential side where I've got the least amount of units. So as long as it comes over and centrally on the right, I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll see.
Wow, that didn't quite go as planned. Made a couple of mistakes in that game. I think the biggest biggest one being that I shouldn't really have dropped the Skyborn Slayers on the first turn. I think maybe sitting off and waiting to see where the objectives would land would have been more the smarter move to do, really. I think put in, like, as you no doubt hear from Russ, I think it was a combination of errors for me on all points. Putting the Celestin in within 3 inches of a Wrathmonger to allow them to attack was not great, and should have activated the protectors first, but I didn't. I went with the Celestin, obviously with his Relic Blade and his. I wanted to make the most of getting those attacks through with the damage too. In hindsight, I probably seen that he survived. I probably should have kept him and gone last. Fulminators not getting in on 11 was a big ask anyway, so I don't think that was expected at all. I think what's all going to come down to now is what happens, whether Russ or myself get the priority, and where the objectives land. I've spread out a little bit with Skyborn Slayer, so I've got Liberators covering the centre and the sort of my right side of the table. The left hand side of my table isn't very well sort of like protected with regards to scoring on the objective. That could be a problem if it lands there. It's particularly because Russ has got his Juggernauts like barreling across the table. Couple of options I've got are, obviously I'm going to need to sort of whittle down his Blood Warriors and his Wrathmongers. The ability to piling an attack even when they're dead is massive. It's something that you, whilst knowing that they can do it, you don't kind of realise the amount of damage that can come back, plus like rebounding more wounds back on 6s, which happened in the last turn as well. I feel like I'm missing a lot of shooting, and also like a bit of a lackluster turn with shooting in the first round. I would have liked to have maybe sort of like done some more damage to the Juggernauts, or even the Wrathmonger unit that was not Wrathmonger, sorry, the Blood Warrior unit that was coming across the centre of the table. I feel I'm a little bit light on shooting again, to what I'm used to, which is, it's interesting to play without so much Judicators, because I tend to lean on them quite a lot in games to clear up stuff ready for when I want to fight it. But to be honest, that turn was a calamity of errors for me, by coming down early, attacking the Blood Warriors with the Wrathmongers behind, whilst Russ had a defensive base, and just sort of like bouncing off him. Hopefully, I've got tools to deal with stuff like the Fulminators can cause a lot of damage, and I've still got the Prime in the air, so depending on when the Prime comes down, he can sort of go in and do a lot of damage himself. So there's a couple of things I can do. I think it's all going to come down to the big priority roll in the next couple of minutes. My main plans for turn 2 are probably going to retreat the Celestin out of combat if I get the priority. If not, then I imagine he'll be dead. I need to, fingers crossed, hope that the Juggernauts don't get in. I've put the Gryph-hound in the way to try and stop them. But as Russ pointed out in his little video, whether this is first or second, you'll hear that he has the ability to be able to pile in a little bit more with it because of where the Gryph-hound is positioned. I think I need to retreat, concentrate fire on one unit, and see where the objective lands really, and sort of like make plans around that. It's going to be a reactive turn 2, and I'm massively on like the back foot because my units that cause the majority of the damage, one of them's dead, the other one's decimated. So it's going to be an uphill battle for me, I think.
Hey! I rolled a 6.
Conveniently, Russ gets a 6 on the dice that's rolled 4 6s in the practice.
They rolled a 1, a 6, a 6, and a 6, alright?
Yeah.
Okay, Russ's turn 2.
And here comes the meteors.
Ooh.
Oh, that's what the Bloodbound wanted right there. You've got 2 walls of Juggernauts and some Blood Warriors just hanging around it. That is going to be a really hard nut for Les to crack.
There's 5 Skull Reapers up there as well.
You aren't getting through that, Les. You're not getting through that.
He's got the Celestant Prime, but that's still a lot to try and take out. And the Blood Warriors are just going around the objective there. It looks like Russ is going to push pretty hard forward. The Juggernaut's already in Les's half the table. Well,
with Les losing a lot of his forward movers, it's just a case of pinning him in now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the Blood Secretors have moved much though.
The problem with if you move the Blood Secretors and you then lose the buff with the threat of the Celestant Prime, you need to make sure you're not going to take those Battle Shock tests.
Yeah, here's the charges from Russ. He's gone in with the Juggernauts. He hasn't moved the Blood Warriors. I guess he's keeping them there just to finish off the Lord Celestant.
Yeah, it's a clever thing to do because, again, if the Prime comes down, the Lord Celestant's nearby, you've got the Prime hitting on 2s. It's not something you want to be happening.
Yeah, it's good defense. I guess he's going to wait until Les puts his objective down and sort of push forward in that direction.
Yeah. I can't quite see from here, but was there any more of the Decimators in the centre of the board?
There's a couple left, yeah. I think 1 or 2.
Oh, okay, that's a better shot. Yeah.
Oh, it's 1. Yeah, look, he's surrounded there.
I think he's got. They look like Wrathmonger bases to me.
I think it's the Skull Reapers.
Ah, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate for that Decimator right there.
Yeah, I think he's not going to survive that attack. Blood Secret's still got his banner down. I think it might be just out of the second one, but there's enough attacks there to pip him off.
Yeah, he'll do it.
But I think the really interesting combat on this one is can the Lord Celestant hold on? I don't think he will.
I think that'll be hoping for a lot of 6s from Les there.
Yeah, but can those Juggernauts push through?
The Juggernauts against the Judicators and the Liberators, it's going to be interesting because obviously because the Juggernauts have got 5 wounds each, the Liberators are going to get the extra to hit, but they're 5 wounds each, a 4-up save, and with the Bloodglaives they're rend 1.
Yeah.
What would be interesting to see is if Les has kept his Lord Relictor back to be able to hit them with a lightning bolt, because then they'd only been hit on 5s.
He's just around the corner. He's not in combat, but he's not far off going.
Yeah, it'd be the way I'd probably play it if I was on Les's side, but he's really going to have to try and walk uphill with this one.
Yeah, it looks like they're piling in the Liberators, so they've taken the attacks. I guess Russ has attacked the Judicators. We've got the Liberators there jumping in, but I doubt they're going to be able to do the damage to take any of them off.
Yeah, no, as I said, they get the extra to hit, but they're just 1 damage, and these guys are 5 wounds each. It's not going to be something scary.
Yeah, and that's to finish off the combat phase. That's the Lord Celestants.
I didn't even notice that it's just a sea of red or grey.
Pipped off. He only had a wound or 2 left, didn't he? So, and a pretty good turn by Russ there.
Yeah, is literally just handed to him on a plate there from Les. This is going to be an uphill struggle for Les. The question is obviously, are we going to see a prime time?
I don't think we are. I think.
That's
a good result there.
It's quite good for Les. I mean, this is the most defensible position he's got. Yeah. In all fairness, it's the furthest away from any enemy models.
Now, I think what he's going to need to do is put those Liberators around to keep the Tempestors back and just pew off the Blood Warriors and Wrathmongers, so that he's got a little bit of breathing space.
He needs to get as many points as he can right now.
And hello,
is he going for it?
He's going balls deep with the.
He took the bribe. He's going for it. It's a questionable decision, but I suppose best way to keep him hold still is charge him.
Yeah, the Venator's moving out the way of those Juggers who.
There goes the Relictor. Are we going to see some lightning bolt action here?
I think we might.
There it is. Yes.
Oh no! It was a tease.
That was a tease, ladies and gentlemen. That was a tease.
The prime was on the table, and then he was back off. We thought
that was. I got a little bit excited there. I'll be honest.
He was going all in there. After what he lost in turn 1, would have been quite.
That would have been a very very brave tactic from there. Very brave tactic.
Yeah, and I think you can see him just with the Judicators, just spreading the love, taking the Judicator off there. I think the Relictor's done a little bit of lightning as well.
Oh, if he's gone for the Juggernauts and that... it actually looks as though he's taken 1 or 2 of the Juggernauts off, which is fair dues to those Liberators. Has he got some other character up there I can't see? I mean...
there are a couple of Judicators behind the building. I think the Relictor's helped out.
That's pretty good. And here we go. This is the moment.
Combat phase time.
I'm excited to see how these things perform.
Tempestors.
Yeah. I've yet to play Dracoths that have actually charged in. The ones I played had the crossbows.
Well,
now that is a strong turn from Mr. Les Martin right there. That is a lot of Blood Warriors he's just taken out.
But those Blood Warriors are getting their attacks back now.
It is, as I said before, just some of the best battle line in the game.
Yeah,
but a very strong turn from Les. As you can see, if those had gone in on the turn that he'd played for, then this would have been quite a different round.
Has lost 1.
That is...
The Wrathmongers, 3 wounds left. The Wrathmongers should finish him off.
That is not a good roll for their Les.
He's lost the Liberator as well. I wonder if those Liberators can do any sort of damage up there.
It's not just 1 Liberator, mate. There is only 1 Liberator left. Ooh. I guess the Corn Lord must be up there in his Juggernaut chopping up some...
The Corn Lord's on top of the mound. But I guess he's buffing the giants.
With his command ability, you get +1 on the wound roll, so that's very good.
That is pretty tidy. And
that is the last of the. Oh, that's not.
Oh, the Tempest has gone as well.
This is looking dicey.
Yeah, unfortunately that gamble didn't pay off. But we'll see how the guys feel about that now.
He bet heavy to win heavy, and unfortunately, didn't turn out right. No.
So, end of battle round 2. It's looking pretty good for the Bloodbound. We're tied on scenario points at 2 apiece, but Les in a bit of a bad position. Obviously, got rid of the Celestin, finished off the Decimators, was able to get my Crushers into his Judicators and Liberators and pretty much take those units out. Les then fed me his Fulminators. I did lose my Blood Warriors, but yeah, I kind of expected them to die to that charge, but I thought maybe he wouldn't put them in and sort of stay outside of the range of the double banner bubble. So I think maybe I've still got to worry about the Prime. The scenario is to capture the objective, so Les has still got a chance here because he can, if he gets the next battle round, he can flee out of combat with the last Liberator to try and slow me up to maximise his shooting from his Venator and fully operational Judicator unit, and he's still got the big bow on his Judicator in combat with the Crushers, and he can use the Relictor to pin the Crushers into combat. Then he can drop the Prime to take the other objective. So it's not over, but I'm in a very strong position, so I think Les has now got to play a very good tight game to bring this back, but yeah, the scenario is a strange one because as the turns tick up, the objectives are worth more points. So, capturing it on turn 4 or 5 is worth more than getting on turn 2. So there's still a lot to play for. I've now got a bit of a foot slog across the board to get to him, and he's got some guns still. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'm fairly confident. I think next turn I'm just literally going to run at him. I'm probably going to send Valkyria and the Whip Guy back to help with the objective because it's models. So if I can just kind of spread my models around that objective so the Prime can't get all of them, I'm probably in a good position because I can, even if I can test it on one of the rounds, then that's good. But it's going to be a problem. I might have to send something back to deal with the Prime. I don't think I've actually got enough in that side of the board to actually kill him. Either that or I just rush the other objective. But if Les gets up, then I've got to have one turn at least where I take both. So yeah, interesting. We'll see how it goes. The Crushers were pretty outstanding. The +1 hit makes a massive difference. I wasn't expecting him to do quite so much after playing with them before. I think taking the Lances for the Rend, the fact that you can negate the hitting on a 4 with that benefit is a really strong choice. But yeah, I think, that was... Nothing really went badly wrong for me, so that was kind of a good turn. The shooting did do quite a bit of damage back to my Skull Reapers though, so I'm down to only 3 models, and I've only got 4 models in one unit, and yeah, I've got the Wrathmongers, but with only a 5-up save and quite a lot of board to cover, I don't know. It's still to play for really, so it goes.
Wow, that didn't go as planned. Basically, what I tried to do in that turn was to try and, being that in the General's Handbook scenarios, you need a lot of bodies to be scoring on the objectives, and the more bodies you have, the better it is. My general idea was to try and sort of whittle down Russ's scoring units, because if he's only actually got 2 or 3 models in the actual unit, then he it makes it harder for him to sort of contest my objectives. I think I got quite lucky with where the meteor landed, which has kept me in the game, for it to be in sort of my far right corner, which is the complete opposite of the table from where Russ's is. It still gives me a chance to stay in the game. I've massively underestimated what the damage output that the Wrathmongers and the Corn Warriors do when double bannered up. The fact that they're putting out 5 attacks each. If I go first, they still get to attack and kill me. If I don't get to go first, they will, pump out so much damage that the ones that I do kill get to go again. So, essentially one guy could attack I then kill another, like one of the normal guys, and they're putting out 10 attacks a turn, which even without the rend, that they're still gonna sort of like whittle down just the amount of dice that they're throwing at me. I think Russ has played a really tight game so far, and I think I've made some crucial errors early on, and now I'm trying to play catch up. Looking at the table and where I am, I think it's all going to come down to, again, who gets the priority role in this turn, because I think with the priority, as Russ sort of alluded to in his little video, there's a lot of things I can do to mitigate how Russ sort of attempts to play the game, attempts to score. Is still going to be really tight. I think it's still going to be, I'm going to have to play really well. I'd say it's 80% in Russ's hands at the moment, and there's a 20% chance that I can pull it back to either a win or draw if I'm really lucky. But as Russ said, I'm going to have to play out of my skin. I think probably my favourite part of that turn, my favourite thing that went well, was the shooting into the sort of like the blood crushers. Again, like, you know, we joke about it on the podcast. It's like they call me Les Judicator Martin, because I love the Judicators and the range threat that they can put out. One of my lowlights probably was putting the Fulminators in, not doing very well with the mortal wound shooting on the Fulminators, and then sort of like them getting taken off by a unit of Corn Warriors and the Wrathmongers. With the 3-up savory rolling ones, you probably 10 wounds, you think they might have scraped through, but just the amount of attacks that they put out plus the rend from the Wrathmongers is sort of like ridiculous. And you know, you live and learn. I definitely think that with the General's Handbook as well, is the +1 to hit ability that you've got within the Khorne army now, and the way it synergizes really makes the army difficult. I think looking at it, I would not try and fight those units again. I think you'd probably sit off and make Russ come to me, or have a bit more shooting so that I could, you know, whittle it down as it comes across the table. I've still got the Prime. You know, as always, leave it to the Celestant Prime to do the heavy lifting in the list, and you know, we'll see how that goes. But I think realistically, it's going to be all down to who gets the next priority, and see where it goes from there. At the moment, my plan is to try and keep the Liberators where they are on the objective as much as they can. If I can sort of deal with the Skull Crushers, because he's only got 3 Skull Crushers left, and they're fully wounded up, so it's 15 wounds, still quite a lot to get through. If I can pin them with the Relictor and, you know, maybe sort of like chip away at them with, obviously the Relictor's got an ability, he's got the Phoenix Stone, I think it is, he's going to be putting wounds back on himself in each hero phase. That coupled with his mortal wound sort of lightning bolt, and the fact he does 1 rend of his attacks, he might be able to chip away. Again, I'm going to have to play smart. See if I can do it for the first time in this game, shall we? See if I can play smart.